Certainly affordable. Oh yeah, I had a Somme
I just thought, what does GKR mean?
Yep. Go Kangaroo, total school, total discipline focus. Go hard, moving school. How many hours a week? Probably in terms of hours, about 3, maybe 4 hours. In small segments of about 4 for a week. I believe my health is about 1969. What's the best way to say kids? As silly as it sounds, just practice. Also, practicing against something. I don't think actually, if you do something that's hard for you to tree or a post of a clothesline or something to hit against. If it's fragile and you're going to hurt it, you might hurt your foot and don't come too close. So aiming to come close to a target can be satisfying with hits. I always like to hit up against, if I don't have a partner to do it at home, my wife won't do it too long. There's a dog, but he's small. And I'll kick against the wall or something. And so I enjoy kicking that way. I think in the house.
It doesn't practice like bruises, it's practice proving. Whereas,
Yeah, you've got to practice hard.
practice proving makes bruises.
That's true. Yes. What do you do? I've had frozen bits broken back about 44 years ago. There's still practice.
Kancho, everyone here have got people that are up to within the club and know your aspect as well. Who are your heroes or who are you like you?
Yeah. Looking at the parade world, I've had a few times, we just don't really know personally. But I've had many that try and disturb us. He wants to comes up from Heretaunga Parade International, top masters of all time. He's still alive. Comes up just a really fantastic role. So I think that he's one of my heroes. From that I've also my heroes who not so much heroes now, but I also respect them, right? So we were my leaders at the time, Tino Severano, and he was always a senior, and worked for us with French. And also another still remembrance, Mario Vidona from Okanagan, I've trained with him personally to his family. Foot through, I haven't got a foot through a wall. But I've done all the breaking tiles and boards and things like that. Get a bit, old for that, but I don't think I'll have to do okay. No, I just scared me to do breaking. I know someone can do it, but I won't take it. I've seen it done, that sort of stuff. Punching and shoot overs and fix. I've done it right. How many medals? I got a bronze medal for a demonstration once now. I've only got, it's an interesting question, I haven't won any tournaments. I don't enter tournaments. But the only thing I got was a medal, you might say, was there was an exhibition in Adelaide of martial arts years ago, 1988 I think it was. And there were 13 grandmasters from around the world came and judged an exhibition. And you enter the exhibition and demonstrate your art, anything. You want to do martial arts. People from kendo, sword fighting, or aikido, karate, there was Russian sambo, there was just so much. And I was in the first place. Not a competition against someone, but just exhibiting my art, exhibiting pride, just as what's that? Our covers come from Okinawa. So the covers are made up from the masters of karate as realistic fighting patterns. Fighting patterns where each technique could be applicable if a particular situation arose, but they come from initially Okinawa. as a way just to practice some techniques in a formalised way and have something to repeat, you know, because you do the basics, you know, and you can do some combinations, but can't you just see an expression? Kata actually is quite a unique part of the art, you know, it's enjoyable to challenge yourself to get the kata more perfect.
Which combination do you find most effective?
4-4 snow?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think really, I just like a straight up punch, wide head, front kick, or a combination of both days, you know, like the front kick and the follow up with the punch. Pretty simple stuff, really. In my earlier days, I used to do a jumping front kick and I've done sort of elaborate sort of techniques. Now I'm slowing down a little bit like you know, sort of techniques. Sometimes I'll charge in and, you know, I'm there over there. Sorry.
Kancho, what's the next big goal for GKR worldwide? Any secrets you can let us know?
Well, I mean, in terms of events with the World Cup in Melbourne, you might know, yeah. We have a lot of events behind the scenes with our full-time people, like things at this stage, like like, you know, all our senior people, Anthony, for example, there's about 10 of us. We went to Singapore recently for a conference where we get together, we talk business things within the club, but then we also train. They fall under records in England and guys in Australia, stays in India and so on. But so there are events here. The big things we want to do is open up further. We're looking to see England expand a little bit further. And then we do definitely open up Canada, the Netherlands, and Singapore. There are other countries as well. So that's part of something.
Have you just, with respect to Singapore and Canada, have you established timetables and so on?
Not really. But what we can, I can generally feel that we should do something in Canada within 12 months to 18 months. We're really aiming for that. And possibly even, depends, it does cost money to go to these places and send people in and push over there. So we do really need to just make sure that the right decisions and the right people, so there's, you know, some consideration for those things. But, you know, those three countries ought to happen within 12 months to 2 years. We could have three of those countries up and running.
I noticed when you fight, you keep your hands really open. Is that because you're just going casual tonight? Or do you advocate that?
Yeah. I mean, my sparring is fairly casual. I mean, I sort of, you know, ideally I should keep my thumbs in, I have a do. But, you know, I sort of like to be loose, you know. But in this sparring, in the early days, we have the hands closed. You just don't get involved. But yeah, I like to spar very light and loose. Even when I'm sparring high-grade people, I just like to sort of feel loose and then try to explode at the right time. Obviously, with my sparring, I'll spar, but I'll feel sparring how strong I need to go. But, yeah.
So you wouldn't necessarily recommend it?
No. For you guys, just careful hands closed. Maybe if I'm even open, but just can get like, because you open hands, you can just get knocked in.
Kancho, is there anything planned to celebrate the 25-year anniversary?
Yes, there's a dinner in the city, isn't it? There's 25 year. Yeah, I don't know all the details of soccer, but there's sort of a dinner, in Melbourne, before or just after the World Cup.
How long does it take to get the club up and running?
How long did it take the club? Get the club up and running. The start, I think, was about January 84, so it's just been continuous growth. So we've had times where it's gone faster and others. It's been going for 25 years now.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's supposed to be wide.
Yeah, well, 10 minutes I changed it when I first started doing it.
So